what I love about this particular workshop, this event, is that yes, it's about the vision, the vanities, the valances and the vibes. And even though I don't know anything about valances yet, and I do look forward to learning more about that, I believe today is all about something that we already understand. And that is wanting the spaces that we live in to feel more like us. Yeah, everybody agree? Because that is such a human thing. Because we just don't pick the furnitures. We just don't pick the right color palette to match the cupboard in the kitchen or the china that you received on your wedding day from your mother-in-law. We just don't try to think on where to put things. In reality, we are actually doing something just a little deeper. And when I say deeper, I'm saying we are declaring something. We are making a statement, and we are affirming that, hey, yeah, this space matters to me. This space feels like me. And yes, this is how I want to live. And this is why building and creating spaces is never just practical. It's very personal. It's uber personal. Because you'll feel that when you walk in different rooms. There are spaces that look very nice. Matter of fact, they look so nice that they secretly activate a little bit of envy in you, a little bit of jealousy, and you say things like, oh my God, that color palette, I wish I had that in my office, right? Or, oh my God, that painting, where did you get that? Did they have that on, was that famous Chinese place where you get, is that on Tmall? I wish I could find that on Tmall. And then there are spaces that feels honest, and there's a difference. And the difference is not just style. The difference is not just design. The difference is alignment and integrity. Because the truth is, you can build something that looks so wonderful on the outside and still build from stress on the inside. And that, to me, is what integrity under pressure is all about. It's about what really happens when pressure invades your creative flow, right? There's so many different pressures that can happen. There's a budget pressure, there's a time pressure. Do you actually stay connected to what truly matters to you? Or do you disappear? Do you lose yourself while you're trying to make something work, right? Because in reality, you can build from pressure, you can build from comparison, and you can build from that voice. Like what voice? What are you talking about, Kaye? That voice that says, gee, Samantha, just do what everybody else is doing and just be done with it. Will you? Right? You've heard that voice. And then when you give way to that voice, something very strange happens. Well, what happens? Well, the room may look finished, polished, but it doesn't quite feel like home. I want to emphasize the word feel. It doesn't quite feel like home. And all of us, many of us, are very familiar with that feeling, not just in designing the spaces, in building the spaces, but in real life. We've all had moments when, we were doing all the right things on the outside and still feel so disconnected with what we are actually creating. And this is why confidence, which Amanda will share with you on how to do that, how to feel confident with some skills. Confidence is very important. It matters so much, not because feeling confident makes you the loudest person in the room, or feeling confident makes you so certain about everything. So certain that sometimes you find yourself on the wrong side. Confidence is super important because under pressure, confidence is what often protects alignment and integrity. The integrity to keep trying, to experiment, to ask questions, to stop asking, well, what would actually impress people? And then start asking, what actually feels true? What actually feels right here? And that's one of the most amazing things in workshops like this is they give people permission to try. Permission to try and fail, permission to try and get better, permission to try and finally get it. It gives permission to build something with their own hands. And there is something super powerful when you try to build and make things with your own hands. Because when people make things with their own hands, they often start to trust themselves in a very different way. Not in a big way, not all the way right away, but just a little. And sometimes a little is how big things start. And speaking of start, like I mentioned earlier, today is the start of my public speaking journey, and like I said, I have, where is she? She was there, then she's gone. I have Amanda to thank. And that says a lot about her own alignment and integrity and her devotion to what she is truly building. It doesn't only help you build spaces for you that feels like you, she actually built the space that you belong to right now. And how do you feel in this space? Everybody feel good? Shout out to Amanda, and a shout out to my husband of 20 years, who's here and catching and freezing this moment in time, because this is part of my beginning. So when I think about a vision, since we're talking about vision, vanities, balances, and vibes. So when I think about vision, I don't just think about an image in your mind. I think about having the courage to connect, to stay connected to that image. And when I think about vibes, I don't just think about the aesthetics. I think about the emotion that comes from building something with care. And when I think about spaces that really stay with us, I don't think it's because they are perfect. I think it's because they carry presence. They felt lived in, they felt intentional, they felt loved. So I guess maybe the real invitation today is not just to build something prettier, but to build something more honest. Yes, absolutely build something useful. Yes, absolutely, definitely build something beautiful. And heck yeah, build something more you. Because in the end, the spaces that really speaks and connects with us aren't the ones that were built perfectly. They're the ones that were built with personal touch. Thank you.